Well, today we're to present the World Federation of Right-to-Life Societies. And we are
Magali,
Rubén
Aneti,
and the server Santiago.
Okay, the history of the World Federation of Right-to-Life Societies. In 1976, Dr. Henry Ora called for an international meeting of existing national right-to-life societies. This meeting was after the formation of the Japan Euthanasia Society, that now is better known as the Japan Society of Dying with Dignity. Japan, Australia, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and the United States were all represented, and this first meeting was to learn about the experience of each country and international perspective on right-to-life societies. And in that meeting, they talked about the Tokyo Declaration of 1976, and in that declaration, they talk about the increasing concern of the right to die, because they see that there was a lot of people suffering, and they have the right to die with dignity, peace, and without suffering. And also they talk about the legalization of the right to die, and promise to do the objectives, and will collaborate all the countries. 2 years later, a second international conference takes place in San Francisco, and in 1980, the third international conference takes place at Oxford in the United Kingdom, and in that year, the World Federation of Right-to-Life Societies was created. Now, they have 52 right-to-life organizations from 44 countries. 20. The mission of this organization is to give information and educational materials to all the people that want to know more about the right to die, promotes cooperation and liaison in all the societies in all the world, facilitates international conference. They have a conference all the years, and they meet with a lot of countries like France, Switzerland, Australia, Italy, United States, and Canada. Provides assistance to the people who want to have the right to die if they are suffering, and responds to requests of all the societies.
Well, as Jasmine said, the World Federation of Right-to-Life Society was founded in 1980 in Oxford, and at this conference the following resolution was adopted. The first point is that the World Federation of Right-to-Life Societies has to promote cooperation between the organizations that help people to die with dignity and euthanasia, and has to support the relationship between these, and this is important because in each conference that the organization and the World Federation have, they reach agreements, so they have to inform the people to follow the steps correctly, and has to give conference on this topic to support the countries that do not have any specific foundation about euthanasia. And this is important because the organizations that are not bound with the World Federation need to know more about the steps that they have to follow. Also, it has to promote and convince the other organizations to have a greater success in the world, and also to make it stronger and over judgments. The World Federation has member organizations around the world, and in Africa has 3 organizations, 2 in South Africa, and 1 in Zimbabwe. And in Asia has also organizations in Hong Kong and Japan. Later on, my classmate Ruben will talk more about the topic of Japan. In Europe has organizations in 13 countries that are Belgium, Denmark, France, Finland, Italy, and Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, and Switzerland. And in America has in the north and in the south. In the north are 2 organizations, one in Canada and one in the United States. And in the South America are 2 organizations, one in Colombia and other in Venezuela. And in Oceania has organizations in Australia and in New Zealand. Also in the Middle East has 1 organization in Israel. And these organizations help people to live the life they live with dignity and help to protect the right to self-determination in the final stages of the life. These organizations were formed through the conference that the World Federation give, and also, although not all organizations are joined to the World Federation, they work with it. For example, the organization has to base in the requirements of the World Federation and in the laws of the country to analyze and to practice euthanasia depending on a case.
Well, I'm going to talk for the Japan Society for Dying with Dignity. Well, I want to start with a phrase that in Japanese phrase is songen shi, that songen means dignity and shi means that. This phrase was begun used in 1918 by the society, and in 1981 the phrase was used by the World Medical Association in a Lisbon conference to declare that the patients have the human right to die with dignity. And songen shi involves different aspects like negotiation among the family, the health workers, and obviously the patients. For the patients have if he wants die with dignity. Next, please. Well, the background of this society is a Nagoya High Court case. This is one most important Japanese legal precedent of the euthanasia. In 1916 too. This is a case where in this city a farmer have a painful disease, and the only wish he had is to die, and his son helped to die with preparing a mixture of a meal with a pesticide. The son has sentenced for 4 years because he didn't follow the steps for a die with dignity for the court in Nagoya. And for this, next please. Since that moment in the Nagoya court, they ruled 6 conditions to end a suffering patient's life. The first is the patient's situation should be regarded as incurable or no hope of recovery. The second is that the patient suffering from unbearable and severe pain. The third is the act to killing should be undertaken with the intention of alleviating the patient's pain. The fourth is the act should be done only if the patient makes himself one request. The fifth the euthanasia should be carried out by a physician, and in the case that is not possible, one person is admitted for the court by receiving by assistance for the patient. The last one says the euthanasia must carry out using ethical methods. The Japan Society for Dying with Dignity, since that moment, for the case in Nagoya, the Dr. Tenryora and one team of physicians was found with a common goal to die with dignity, found the Euthanasia Society in Japan in 1976. The Dr. Tenry was the first that called an international meeting to give the idea to support die with dignity groups and in all world. These international were for exchange ideas for the topic. Next. The formation of this society was based for the formation of the World Federation of Right to Die societies, and the principal mission for Japanese Society for Die with Dignity has been promoting the concept of dignified death by ethical living, seeking and supporting the right of a person's life and die peacefully. Now, this society is the biggest society in the world. This is one timeline for the history of society. In 1976, the inauguration of Euthanasia Society in Japan. In 1977, enactment of California Death Act. In 1983, society changed its name to Japan Society for Dying with Dignity. In 1987, the World Medical Association denies positive euthanasia, that is like active euthanasia. In 1990, Japan Medical Association approved the term dying with dignity. In 1993, euthanasia case at Tokai University Hospital. This is other case when in this hospital, in Tokai University Hospital, was a person that he wants to die, and his son support of the father decision, and he said to the doctor that he applied a lethal injection, and the doctor was sentenced by 4 years because the physicians have a request for do active euthanasia, and this doctor don't have to follow all the steps for apply euthanasia. And in 2002, the membership reaches 100,000 of membership of Japan Society for dying with dignity. And 2005, the diet or member politician legalizing dying with dignity.
Well, now I'm going to talk to you about Dignitas. And, well, Dignitas is considered one of the most important associations for the World Federation of Right to Die societies. This is because since its foundation, it has helped several thousand people to continue to live despite their difficult health capacities. But They also provide the service of assisted suicide. So when people come to this association, they are taking very seriously in the wish to be assisted suicide. But at the same time, the Dignitas also provides a suicide attempt to prevention of it, and this has improved very well in the last years since because it has been working over 16 years, because many of the attempts of suicide have came to fail, so that's why. And they also have helped of more than 1,700 people to be assisted gently, safely, and without risk. And it also, this procedure takes place with their family or friends. To continue, I would like to introduce you Dignitas motto, which says to live with dignity and to live with dignity. This is the most important motto of it, because it describes the purpose and the basis of the association. Well, by dignity, to die with dignity, they refer that a person shouldn't die by suffering or like having a really harsh time in their last days. So they promote this, and they also say that a person stops living until they are not able to live it as a maximus. So they state that model. Here I have some background information. And Dignitas was founded in 17th May in 1998 by Ledwin Minelli, and it is located in Zurich, in Switzerland. And well, it helps people with this, but only in their own territory, because their constitution of other places in the world do not allow euthanasia to happen. So, but Dignitas offers to the whole world, to people from all over the world, to join it if their truly desire is to end their life peacefully. And it is also a non-profit association, and that's it. Well, here is the service that they give. They give counseling, which means advising their members of the association, and this, I think, this is led to prevention of suicide. So it is a very important step of the service they give. After that, they offer a membership. Everyone can join Dignitas, but if you do want to be part of it, it is a bit expensive, because all the services they offer, and it's about 4,000 if you only want the service to be assisted suicide, and 7,000 euros if you want to be assisted, and also to cover all the funeral costs. After that, they provide with suicide and suicide attempt prevention, which is, well, the most important thing that they give of their services, because they want people to keep living and to manage their pain or suffering, instead of just stop living. After that, the patient's instruction. This is most common known as the living will, so that the patient can tell how is its life going to be after he he or she is not able to live in a certain way. And the last one is to accompany suicide. Accompany suicide, well, Dignitas offers the service of the clinics and doctors that provide the lethal drugs that can for the end life issues, so they can just go ahead and do it. That. Okay. What? Oh, okay. Sorry. I guess, well, this is pretty much the same. I mean, here says that they also provide with legal assistance with all the terminal issues that they have to do before they commit this act. And the next, please. And here we have some countries from all around the world. I don't show them because they're repeatedly, but the most important is of course Switzerland, France, Italy, and the United States in some of the states, and Canada, and there were some others from around the world. That's it. Well, to conclude, after doing our research of the associations that help euthanasia to be accomplished, well, I had some counter ideas because I had a different opinion before I did all this research. Well, before I thought it was good just because some people are very sick and can't manage all the pain they are suffering. But as I was digging in the subject, I realized that many of the procedures they do with this, even if the Association of Dignitas is non-profit, I don't know, I think they take it just more like transaction. I felt that way, but even that, I still think that people really want this and desire this. So in those cases, I believe euthanasia is good for people who are suffering that kind of things.
After all this investigation, I conclude that the right to die should be legalized and improved in more countries, because I think that we have the right to live with dignity, and if we are suffering, we should take like the lethal medicine or something like that, because I don't think that is okay to us to suffer when we have a illness.
Well, for my opinion, before this investigation on the movie C+, I'm against it for the euthanasia. But now I'm in favor of euthanasia, because if I was in this situation for like the people, I recurred for an association for request euthanasia. I think the societies is one made to die with dignity, and they help to people to support their desire.
Well, since I heard about euthanasia, I agree with that, because I think that each person has the right to choose the way they want to live, and also we do not have the right to kill a person, but we do not have the right to decide that the person has to continue suffering. And if it is a case of a familiar, I will support him, and I want that if it is my case, they will support me.
Thanks.
Thank you.